Hello and welcome to this episode of your hypnotic bedtime story. I certainly hope you have made yourself comfortable, have taken a nice deep breath in, and then relaxed as you let it go. And now, 3, 2, 1. It is time for your story to begin. If you will remember, we left you at the beach with the little boy, enjoying a sunset and waiting to find out why you are there. You look down at the little boy and stare into his wide green eyes and smile kindly, hoping that if you reassure him, he'll tell you a little bit about what is going on. You ask his name, and he doesn't say anything, he just stares. You ask him why you're there, and again, the same blank stare. You give him a little shake, but he doesn't move, he doesn't do anything. He just blankly stares at you. This is when you smell something not very nice, something that smells like crude oil, and you look towards the beach, and the water lapping up upon the shore is getting thicker and darker and more smelly. You go towards the water and look around and see that all the water is turning black and oily. Then you turn around to come back, and when you look at the little boy has turned into something that is no longer real or alive, stiff and cold, neither dead or alive, as if he'd never been real. Again you head for home, knowing that that man in the building may have lied to you, because there are no answers at the beach. Perhaps the answers are at home. So you walk up the path back towards your house, and as you walk along the path back to the house, sometimes the trees will giggle and laugh at you, but you don't care. Along you go, along the path back to the house. Sometimes you walk into mist and fog, so you keep walking through the mist and fog out the other side because you don't care. You just want it to be over, so onward you go, walking along. Sometimes you walk past your old friend the cat, but you know the cat's not real, so you don't care, and you just keep walking along. You keep walking along till you come to your lovely little house that you like very much, that is near the beach. And you go in through the front door, and you go inside to perhaps watch some TV and wait for this to be over. When you turn on the TV, something unusual happens. Instead of your normal screen that you see, there's big letters that say, "Don't turn off your TV." And then you hear a voice you've never heard before. And the voice says, "Please do not turn off your TV. Many people have died to bring you this message. It's extremely important that you listen." So you do. You make yourself comfortable on your sofa and listen very carefully. And so the story begins. The voice starts showing you and telling you things on the television about a time long, long ago when there was a warming. There was a warming and there was disasters and floods, and the weather went screwy and people starved. There was mass migrations and wars. You watch this knowing that this just could be the future. But the voice says, you are capable of this not happening. But how, you say? While the voice goes on to explain that many, many years ago, during the time of the warming, that there were scientists, and these scientists did everything within their power to change the fate of the planet. And these scientists working day and night, doing everything in their power to change the fate of the planet, began to try to change the very molecular structure of the world that we live in. Working in molecules and then in atoms and then in things smaller than that, they discovered waves of probability operating at the smallest level of the quantum universe. And in amongst the waves of probability, they also found powers and energies existing in all the air around us. And they found ways, using supercomputers, to turn things around. But what they did instead is they made a bit of a mess of it. They caused a rift, or perhaps a confusion, in the waves of probability that create our reality. And you have become caught up in one of these waves of improbabilities. What probably is going to happen does not, and nothing is predictable anymore where you are right now. And given that nothing is predictable where you are right now, so if you can carry on through these waves of probability, keep looking, and although it is improbable, it has become probable that you will find the answer. The answer to what, you ask? The answer to how we turn it all around and make it all not have happened. For surely, as you may already know, and if you don't know, it's a good time to know, that what happens right now will affect the future, but what's even more important is what happens right now will affect the past. Not the past you were in, but the past that I am in right now. And I have been broadcasting day and night for a very long time to find someone who's able to pick up the signal, and that person is you. But why me, you ask? You will find out soon enough, because I am not sure. I am not sure, but I'm sure you are sure, that if you sort through, you will find a portal through waves of improbability till you find what is most probable, and what is most probable can become plastic, molded just the way you would like it to be. This didn't make sense, but you looked around and realized that you did know where the portal was, and the portal was in the well. You're not so sure you want to save the world and would rather just wake up from this dream. So you open your eyes wide, trying very hard to wake up from this dream. But that doesn't work, and that is when your television voice does tell you, don't bother trying to wake up. This is as real as anything else, and the only way out is through. If you know where the portal is, you must go there now. I can't speak to you any longer. I have to run. And with that, the TV blinked off, leaving you staring at just a black screen. You're still not very sure you want to save the world, but you would very much like to put it back the way it was, when it was nicer, and you could sit out on the bench and just enjoy the woods. So you do get up and go back out into the backyard to sit on your familiar bench again, where you started all this, and think if you just relax, breathe deeply and evenly, spend a little time with your departed friend Callie, something normal might happen. So out you go to sit on your bench and do this, and as you're just relaxing, letting things happen how they happen, and enjoying your evening, and hoping it will all pass soon. It gets darker and darker, and soon it will be nighttime, and you don't really like sitting out there during the nighttime because of the fox. And as soon as you think because of the fox, you do hear again the fox, off in the bushes coming towards you. It's very far away now, and you're glad of that. But you think maybe it would be best to go back into the house. So you get up to go back into the house, but at the top of the little steps that you normally would go down to go into the house, there is something unusual floating there, and it is an orb, a ball, a sphere, and it is just floating there, and it is strange, strange swirling colors. You reach out to touch it and feel a slight electric shock, so you pull your hand back. This orb floating there soon floats around you and across the well and up the little path over the little hill. This time you follow it up over the little hill, and there is that little house thing that looks familiar, like something you've seen before. And you are there again, sitting in your rocking chair, with your cat in your lap, waiting for yourself to come and say hello. You do come and say hello, and your older self points to the door again and says, "All your answers are through here." So through there you go. You open the door, and this time it's opening up on a very, very long hallway. You step through into the hallway, accepting your fate now, and begin walking along the hallway. A long, long hallway with red carpeting on the floor and doors either side going by. And these doors have numbers on them, or what you think are numbers, because again they are just symbols. Some of the symbols familiar, and some of the symbols you walk by are strange to you. And along you go along the hallway, waiting to find out what it is you are supposed to do next. Down at the very, very end of the very long hallway, you see someone dressed in white is walking towards you. And as you get closer, you realize that this person is the nurse that got off the elevator some time ago. This time she smiles, and when she smiles with her big red mouth with too much lipstick, she shows rows of too many yellow uneven teeth. And she points a bony finger at you and she says, "It's time for you to go to bed. You sleep under red 11. "I sleep under red 11, you say. "You sleep under red 11. She smiles and gets on her way down the hallway. So walking along you go, again looking at the doors, seeing symbols that are unfamiliar, until you do see one door that has a number you know, and on that door is a red 11. You open the door, and the door opens up into a little bedroom that seems to have everything a bedroom needs in it, and this bedroom's very familiar. It looks very much like the bedroom you are used to, almost, but not quite. The bedroom has a window that opens up not onto outside, almost is outside, a room you've been through before, when you were going outside. You look up on the ceiling of this room, and on the ceiling of this room there is, very clearly painted, a very precise red 11. Perhaps it would be best for you to go to sleep under this number and see if what the nurse says is true, that there's something you're supposed to do while sleeping under red 11. So you do. You climb into the bed, you pull up the covers over yourself and close your eyes, and do that breathing thing you did before when you wanted to breathe your way into a long, sound, comfortable sleep and get away from it all. In and out, softly and slowly, just breathing the way you would breathe if you were already asleep. And you do drift off to sleep feeling very warm and comfortable, knowing that you are in the right place and doing exactly what it is you are supposed to do. And you know, while you are sleeping, you will find out what that is. Perhaps it will come to you in a dream that seems very real, because now real and dream doesn't really make any difference now that the probability's all messed up. and you will find out what it is in the next episode. Because now it is time for you to either go to bed, go to sleep, or go on to the next episode, whichever you'd prefer. And I'm sure whatever you choose to do is going to be the correct choice. So good night for now. Have a nice rest, and I'll see you in the next episode.